Right, so hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of video blog. And this is again in context to XUV 300 petrol overall long-term review and the mileage. So recently I've been getting a lot of messages from people, those who watched my videos, and they've constantly talked about the overall mileage long-term review of almost 7,000 plus kilometers. And of course, there are other options like, how much I've spent on, service charge or all, problems and issues with this particular car. So I said, why not, have a detailed video on the same where every single information is mentioned, because ultimately what matters for all of us in the longer run is, how efficient is the car, and overall expenses in terms of that, is this a value for money product. So in today's video presentation, I would be more than happy to answer every single answer which you guys have asked, and I hope to solve every single individual's question with context to review, mileage and performance. So let's start first with the mileage. I have driven this car for almost 7,000 plus kilometer, and it's been more than a year for me with this particular car. And whenever I took for a round, I've had almost 13.2 as an average mileage in the city. And of course, when it comes to mileage and driving dynamics, all these things are also depend how you drive. So for example, I'm somebody who is not, let's say, a kind of a racer guy. I would love to race it, but then I do not go more than 100 kph on the highway, because I really want to be in control of every single mode of my vehicle. So I've always been doing on the highways, let's say 80 to 100 consistently without changing much of a gear. So let's say if I'm on a highway, I would put on 6th gear, and 80 to 100 I would maintain without changing too much of my gear and other stuff. Now, second thing about mileage is, what sort of usage you have with context to clutch. A lot of people, those who drive car, have this habit of using the clutch, and when you press your clutch more often than not, you would end up getting bad mileage. That's number two. Number three, you should never ever take your frequency of RPM more than 2000 RPM. So any single time if you take your RPM more than 2000 RPM, you're bound to get more lower fuel mileage. So this is in context to overall mileage, and let me just show you in the video as well. Give me a couple of seconds, please. Just a moment. So if you see the mileage, it is showing right now is 13.2. Right. So in this video presentation, my next point, which I think I wanted to talk to you, is about the service cost. So I've driven more than 7,500 kilometers. And if I go with the average service cost, which should include an oil change and stuff. So normally for petrol variant of Mahindra, they say you have to have second service once you complete 10,000. That's why you change the petrol, also called the oil. I'm sorry for that. So I've not driven more than 7212 in context to overall efficiency of the so-called the car's performance and stuff. But then if I go with my overall experience of money-wise expenses and stuff, my second servicing cost me around, I guess, 3,200 rupees, which I felt was pretty affordable, because a car of this size, if you take into consideration. Right, so we felt that 3,200 wasn't a huge deal in terms of overall cost, wherein we had to change the filter, the oil. So honestly speaking, I was not in a mood to do it, but then as I really maintain my car in spick and span stuff, so I always make sure that I get the best possible value add whenever it is required. So that is also a recommendation from my side. If you happen to buy anything, Seltos, Jeep Compass or any other car, you must take a very good care of your car so that the car has a good value in the longer run. Now, the other thing which I think I should share with you with context to overall let's say satisfaction of driving for so long and stuff. I don't think so. I have ever felt in a way wherein I got a bad deal, even though this is quite an expensive car compared to let's say Suzuki Vitara Brezza or Ford EcoSport, or let's say the Tata Nexon and stuff. It is quite costly compared to all those vehicles. But then when you drive it, that is where the maximum satisfaction is gonna get. You would feel like a king on the highways. That's number one. Number two, you would get better mileage compared to Nexon, even the new Vitara Brezza petrol, because initially if you see Vitara Brezza, they haven't had the petrol version. And of course, it can always be Jeep Compass and stuff in terms of mileage, but then Jeep Compass is in a different league altogether. We all know that, so let's not compare. It won't be fair to compare that with Jeep Compass. But then overall build of this car, performance, mileage, service cost, and overall, feel when you start XUV 300 is absolutely delightful. You would never feel dissatisfied or let's say unhappy. So that's it in today's video. I really want to say thank you to one and all before I sign off and go and have another drive review. But my last verdict, which I think I would like to give before I end, is if you're looking for a subcompact SUV in the market between 9 to 14 lakhs of range, and if you have a good budget, go for a top end model. It has 7 airbags, unbelievable features in terms of X factors, and you would never be disappointed. So till next time, thank you so much, and take care.